Woke up this morning, got up out of my bed. I looked around, this is what I said. Thank you, Lord, for another day. All the blessings that's in my way.
Hey, GG buddies, how y'all doing tonight? So I did just make it from work, and I wanted to get on because I had said earlier that I was going to do a story time and tell you all a story. So I have 5 kids and 13 grandkids. So on yesterday, my grandson, one that lives with me, but he's down in Louisiana visiting, he called me and he said, Momo, TT passed out. So how many of y'all know I immediately went into panic mode? Few reasons why I went into panic mode. First reason I went into panic mode is because I'm over 10 hours away from them. That's the first thing. And I mean, when something like that happens, it seems like nothing ever go right as far as you're trying to get there. Second reason why I went into panic mode, that in 2016, the same daughter that had passed out on yesterday, back in 2016, she had a car accident. So on the day of the car accident, my phone, her number was calling my phone rather. And I was declining the call. And the reason why I was declining the call is my kids call me all the time. But this particular day was payday, so they especially called me on payday. So this day when she called, I was like, I'm going to mess with her. I'm not going to answer right now. So when her number showed up on my phone, I was at work. At that time, I was a supervisor at an elementary school over custodians. So we was in the cafeteria. They was getting ready for to start serving lunch. So I was in there and my phone first rang with her number. And I declined it and I started laughing. And I had it on the charger laying on the table. And I walked off. Well, one of my workers came and was like, Miss Greta, your phone keep ringing. And it's saying that you're next to the baby daughter. So I was like, yeah, right. I said, she ain't doing nothing but calling the bag today. So this must have went on for about, I guess they was calling my phone back to back, probably about 45 minutes to an hour straight. Then she came, she said, Miss Greta, it's showing a daughter, but it's showing a different daughter. Now it's showing your middle daughter. Well, in my phone, I have all my kids listed as, I have my son, because he's the oldest. I have son, oldest child. I have my, next to the oldest, which is my oldest daughter, I have her as, have her name. I have all their names, but then I have behind it, I have oldest daughter, I have first oldest daughter, middle daughter, next to the baby daughter, and baby girl. So she said, it's showing middle daughter. So I was laughing. I said, oh, they tag teaming me today. And I just kept on laughing. She was like, Miss Greta, you're not going to answer? I said, no, I'm not going to answer because they're calling the bag. So like I said, this went on for about 45 minutes to an hour at the most. I just kept ignoring the calls, or either I would decline it. Then I got a call came through and it said, Janika niece. So I answered the call for my niece. When I answered the call for my niece, she said, Auntie, call your kids trying to get in touch with you. So I said, niece, they ain't doing nothing but begging today. She said, Auntie, they're not begging today. She said, call them. So at the time she was saying that, my phone beeped again. So when it beeped that time, it said, next to the baby girl again. So I answered it. When I answered it, it was a voice on the other end that I've never heard before. And she was like, I'm trying to get in touch with, she said, the name that it has in her phone, it has the world's greatest mom. She said, so I'm assuming you're her mom. She said, and you was the last person that was in her call log. And I said, yes. I said, who is this? She said, she told me her name. She said, I was calling because I witnessed your daughter's wreck. She said, your daughter was in a wreck. I was like, well, where is she? How's she doing? She said, I'm not trying to scare you or alarm you. She said, I did finally just get in touch with your son, but he's on his way. She said, but they did have to airlift her to a hospital in New Orleans. Now, where she lived at and where she had the wreck at, they have a hospital there. But so anytime they have to airlift you to New Orleans, that's never normally a good sign. So while me and her was talking, my phone beeped again. And it was the middle daughter that was trying to call. She was trying to call too. And she was like, Mama, Scooter Rat's been in a bad car accident. I was like, how bad? She said, well, they're saying she broke her neck. They're not sure on if anything with her spine is damaged, but she said it's not looking good at all. So the first thing I immediately went to was my granddaughter. At the time, she was about 2 years old. And my daughter had this little cute little red convertible drop top sports car. Very small, very compact. So I was like, I said, where is Lay? And they was like, we don't know. Lay wasn't in the car with her. So I'm like, what you mean Lay wasn't in the car with her? Where Lay's always with her. So anyway, to come to find out, they said she had just dropped Lay off at daycare. And she was on her way to work. So in the process of on her way to work, I don't know if she did an illegal turn or if the car that she hit, they did an illegal turn. But thank the Lord, nothing was wrong with those people. Their car was damaged, but they was fine. They didn't get hurt. But like I said, because of the small car that she was in, it literally, they say it spent the car around, I don't know how many times. And it actually like took the whole driver's door out and it ejected her from the car. So by then, my son called. He said, Mama, he said, I don't know what didn't happen. All I know is they say she had an accident. He said, I'm on my way. He said, but I'm like 2 hours away from where they're taking her to. He said, the police is behind me now. He said, he said, I'm speeding. He said, I stopped and I told him my sister was in a car accident. And if they wanted to give me a ticket, they could follow me to where I was going. He said, so they actually is leading me on the rest of the way to the hospital. So at this moment, like I said, I was at work. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't function. I mean, everything just, I couldn't remember nothing. I couldn't think straight, like I said. And at this time, I was the only person down here. I had no family down here in Louisiana. No family down here in Louisiana. I was down here by myself. I didn't even have my grandkids down here with me at that time. So anyway, my friend girl, I contacted her. And she was like, I'll make you some reservations. I'll take you to the airport, whatever. She said, just pack your bag, get yourself straight, get yourself situated. So I went home. I got my bag and stuff packed. And I was waiting for her to come get me for her to take me to the airport. Well, when she made it, by the time when she did make it, well, the flight that I had got, it was for like leaving out at 5 something. She made it like 4:45. And I knew for where I had to go to get to the airport, I would never make that flight in time. So I missed the first flight. So at this moment, I'm really in like panic mode because I'm like, my child had an accident. I'm over 10 hours away. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I just got to get there. So I was just constantly praying to the good Lord, praying to the good Lord, praying to the good Lord. I was like, Lord, let my baby be all right. Lord, let my baby be all right. So when I finally did get my flight and I got boarded on the flight right before we took off, my son called. And he was like, Mama, he said, it's not looking good at all. He said, she's broke her neck in 2 places. He said, they have her in surgery now. He said, but it's definitely not looking good at all. So I was like, I'm on my way. I'm coming. So by the time I made it to Louisiana, my cousin came and picked me up from the airport. He took me to the hospital. The airport is in New Orleans. So where he picked me from the airport and where the hospital was, it was like 10 minutes away. How many of y'all know? That's why I serve a good God. When I tell you I serve a good God, I serve a good God. And I wouldn't serve no other God. How many of y'all know by the time I made it to that hospital, when I walked into that hospital room, my daughter was laying on this bed. They had shaved her hair off. They had screws like screwed into her head. They had this weight thing on her with weights that was wearing her down, because they said if she woke up, they didn't want her to move because she had broke her neck, and they didn't know if she had damaged her spine. So they had all kind of stuff on her because they didn't want her to move if she wake up. When she heard my voice, she literally woke up and she was like, "Am I dreaming? Is that my mommy?" I was like, "Yes, this is mommy." She said, "You came all the way here to see me?" I was like, "Of course, you know, of course, why wouldn't I?" She did not know the severity of what had happened to her. She was like, "I was just in a little wreck, mommy, but I'm okay." And she was like, I was like, "Oh yeah, you are okay, baby." I said, "You are okay." So they still, like I say, the doctors, they still was saying that if she walked, she had a long journey. She had a long road to recovery. They were saying when she left the hospital, she would probably be in a rehab from anywhere from a year to 2 years. They were saying if she did walk, they were saying she may have lost all the nerve systems or whatever. They didn't know yet. They were still running tests. But like I said, I serve a good God. And I'm just going to fast forward to when she got out the hospital. She had to go back and forth to therapy. But when she left out the hospital, she was walking, y'all. She was walking on her own. That's how good my God is. She did not have to use no wheelchair. She did not have to use crutches. She may have been slow at her walk, but she was walking on her own. You hear me? That's why I tell you, God is a good God. But I said all that to say this. When your child is calling you, regardless of whether you think they're calling for something that you don't want to hear or whatever, I learned a valuable lesson through this here. Like I say, I was going to eventually answer the call, because I always do answer their call and I give them what they want. But I just, at that moment, it was a joke to me, and I was laughing because I was like, they always, I know, for one thing for certain, two things for sure. Like I said, I know they always call, but I know on payday that they was going to call. So I declined that call. Almost 45 minutes to an hour. Like I said, during the process of me declining that call, I could have lost my daughter. But I just want to say thank you, God, that she's still here. So when I got that call yesterday that said she had passed out, I immediately had a flashback, and I went into panic mode. And I was like, I got to find me a plane ticket. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to get down there. But thank the Lord, she's fine. She's home. What happened was, they said due to the accident that she had a couple years ago, she has now developed arthritis in her arm with a pinched nerve from her neck, from where she had place in her neck, and it radiates down. And they said the pain, I guess, was so intense, and then it was so intense that they thinking she may have had maybe a light seizure with it. But anyway, like I said, she is home and she is doing fine now. She called me today talking noise, because the first time she called me today, I was at work. I didn't see my call. And she was like, "Am I going to have to come down there? You gotta answer that phone." But my kids know one thing for sure. Mama's coming. I don't care how far I am, how long it takes me. If they need me, I'm there. I moved away from Louisiana going on 10 years ago. And it was the best decision that I could have ever done. Louisiana was a hindrance to me. I worked good jobs. I always had good jobs all my life. But it's like every job that I had, though, it's like I could never down there, I could never get ahead. And it's like I had a curse on me. It's like I had good jobs. I was making the money. I was getting the money. But it's like I wasn't prospering. I wasn't benefiting. I wasn't going anywhere. So when my oldest daughter, at the time when I first moved here, she was down here in South Carolina and she was pregnant. So me and my ex-husband had just went through a divorce. So she was like, Mom, I need you to move to South Carolina. I need you for to help me. She was pregnant. She was having some issues with her pregnancy. So I was like, okay, well, change will be good. That would be perfect time for it. So I quit my job at the hospital that I had been had for almost 14 years. So I quit my job and I moved down here to South Carolina. Well, 2 weeks after I moved to South Carolina, my daughter decides that she was going to move back to Louisiana. So she texted me the day before she leave. We're same house with separate rooms. And she said, I'm going to Louisiana. I was like, okay, when? She said, tomorrow. I said, how long are you going to be there for? She said, I'm moving back. And I'm like, you moving back? You had me move here and you're moving back? She was like, yeah, you're not going? I said, no, I'm not going. I said, I didn't move from there to come here to go back. I don't go back. Like I said, I had no family. I had no family. I had no immediate family, put it like this. I did have my cousin, well, my ex-cousin-in-law that used to be married to my cousin. Her and her sons was down here in South Carolina. So I contacted her and I was like, can I stay with you for a little while until I can get a job and get on my feet? Because, I mean, I had only been here 2 weeks. I didn't even have a job. So she was like, sure, yes. And she literally lived right next door to the school that I worked at. She worked there too. She's the one that helped me to get the job. And that's why I'm so grateful to her to this day. She's back in Louisiana now too, but I'm very grateful to her. So anyway, she helped me get the job there and I got the job as a supervisor. And I stayed. And as a result of me staying here in South Carolina, I've been here now. I moved here in November 2015. I've been here now 10 years. I've been here going over, it'll be 10 years in November. And I must truly say that since I've been here, I have been nothing but blessed. We all have our hard times. We all have our moments. We all have our ups. We all have our downs. But I could truly say that I am happy. I'm more happier than I've ever been. I'm truly blessed. I have my home. I have my automobile. I have my job that I'm the store manager of. Basically, I run the store. It's basically, might as well say, it's my baby because the owner is not there. He leaves it. Just whatever I do, he trusts me. It's basically my store. I runs it. It's his store, it's his name, but I runs it. So I call it, it's my baby. Like I say, I'm truly blessed. But like I said, all that to say this, through it all, God has been faithful to me. He has never let me down. When I've let myself down, God has never let me down. When I felt myself, God has never felt me. He's always been there. He's always been there for me. And I would think of I can't, when I hear people saying, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in God, I'm like, you got to be one of the craziest persons in this world to not believe in God. How you can say you don't believe in God, baby? God is who gives you the life that you're living. God is the one that makes this world go around. How can you not believe in God? When I tell you, I couldn't think of, I just couldn't imagine my life without having God in it. And like I said, when I was in Louisiana, I was faithful in church. I was the church. I was on the usher. I was the membership director. I was over the auxiliary finances. I was active in a lot of things in church. But it's like it's like for every step I took forward, I felt 4 steps back. It's like I could never get up or never can get ahead. And I truly do believe that, I don't know, they say Louisiana has hoodoo spells or whatever, but I do believe that I was under a curse when I was there. And I go back to visit now, but when I go, I'm normally in and out. By the time people know I've came, I've already done left and back at home. And especially since my mom passed in 21, there's really no need for me to go there anymore. My kids are there, but if they're doing fine and in good health, I don't have to go there. They could come visit me like I used to go visit my mom. I have my sisters and brothers that are still there. But like I say, they can also come visit me. But I do go home. I actually went home in August and surprised my son for his birthday. I do go home. But South Carolina is my home now. A lot of people be like, you don't miss Louisiana? No, I do not. I do not miss Louisiana. I miss my family and I miss my friends or my associates. But I do not miss Louisiana. I am happy where I'm at. I'm very satisfied. I'm very content. I love the life that I have. I enjoy my life that I have. A lot of people say I work too much, but that's what I like to do. I like to work because I love to shop. I love for my house to look I shop for my house. I shop for me. And I work so I can get the things that I want because I like nice things. Some people may say that I'm high maintenance. But if I'm high maintenance, I maintain my own self. So my grandson is calling me because he's down there now. So I'm going to end this here story time and see what he wants and make sure everything's okay. But GG buddies, remember, I love y'all and y'all have a blessed night.